Well, the day has finally come. That's right, it's dogfight time between the reigning champ, the GOAT, the Gillette Fatboy, and the new entry, the actual Blackland Osprey. I'm Dave, and you're watching Barber Dave's Shaves and Such. Hey everybody, okay, the day has finally come. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video for the first one. Let's explain what we're doing. We're going head to head, a dog fight, so to speak, between two razors, two adjustable razors. One, which in my den has always been the GOAT, or the greatest of all time as far as adjustables are concerned. And then the brand new entry, the Blackland Osprey. Now, before we get started, please come and visit us, www.theshavingcadre.com. We'd certainly appreciate it. And then right up here, our other channel, which is Drinks and Dave's. Got some really good news here. Our 6 p.m. show on Tuesday will have a special guest, Chad Vargo, who's going to talk all about refereeing. Now, this is the important part. Up till now, the Drinks and Dave show has been simulcast on this channel, Barber Dave Shaves and Such, and the Nurse Dave Shaving World, Dave being my partner. We are now able to stream directly to the Drinks and Dave's YouTube channel. So please make sure you subscribe there, ring the bell, like, and get notifications. And that will be starting this Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. So enough of that stuff. Okay, so let's talk about the two razors. First and foremost, let's talk about the Gillette Fatboy. The Gillette Fatboy, this is a 1963, 1964 model. This was given to me by my wife. It was her father's razor. He never used it. Very simple to operate. You twist to open. And I should say that both of these razors today have brand new Gillette Lab Blues, which is what comes with the Osprey. And I have found that those are my favorite razor blades. Simply, while it's loosened up, you take this mark. There's a red mark right here, and you just move it around. Now, I have it set on 7. That is the normal one that I do. Beautiful razor. A little bit on the light side, but just a wonderful, wonderful razor to shave with in the traditional twist-to-open Gillette standard. Okay, now we have the new entry. Now, I am enamored with this razor. And I guess I should qualify that. This is called the Blackland Osprey. Now, on this side, you have the engraving for Blackland, the adjustment wheel, and then this beautiful, beautiful scalloped edge with this brass insert. And we'll get to a couple of problems that people have said they've had. I don't believe it, but we'll get into that later videos. And then on this side, you have this arrow that goes down, and that shows the adjustment. This one's very simple. You just twist it open just a little bit, crack it, and then you can turn this adjustment knob to go to this level. And you can also, unlike the Fatboy, you can do half increments. Now, I've been shaving this with this for the whole week, and I've tried it on most of the different levels, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And what I've found is this is a much more aggressive razor than the Gillette Fatboy on the higher levels. So I am going to be shaving with this on level 5, which from a blade gap standpoint is about as close as I can get eyeballing it to what the Gillette is. So we'll be even there. Just a beautiful, beautiful razor. Very heavy. Almost as heavy as the Tradari. And we're going to do some other stuff with that too. So let's explain a little bit about the Osprey. In the latter part of my Air Force career, I was part of the Special Operations Command, and I had the honor of flying on the Osprey. Now, it was one of the earlier versions of the V-22, so it had some hiccups. But what people don't realize about this plane is it's massive. Now, in the thumbnail, you saw that there's a picture of the V-22 Osprey and this, and then the C-123 Fatboy. Now, the reason why I chose that is the Fatboy was a cargo plane. It was a beast. It dropped things, and it was from 1940s on, and they called it the Fatboy. So that's why we've compared that from an aviation. And this is an aviation-themed thing because of what I like. So the Osprey is very near and dear to me. And I don't know why I've been calling Shane Sean, and I apologize for that. But Shane and I texted back and forth during the development of this, and I just told him how happy I was that he chose the Osprey. So those are the contestants. Now, what we're going to do today, well, before we go there, let me talk to you about the flight crew. Now, the flight crew is going to be with these shaves for the next 3 days, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and then, Sunday, Yeah, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Wow. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to do a couple of different videos. One, I'm going to give the final verdict and comprehensive review on the Osprey, and also announce which one is the GOAT now, which one is the best one as far as adjustables. Now, I know that there's other adjustables out there, but I'm talking for the and I've used all of them, but these two are the Supremes, okay? So we'll do that. And also, there's been some, I don't want to say it's controversy, but people on other forums have been indicating that they're worried that this razor, because of the inset scallops and because of the insert, that it's going to be very hard to clean. So we're going to do a complete cleaning video on this. Super easy. I don't see any issues with this at all. So here's the flight crew for the next 3 days of testing. And today is going to be formation flying, and we'll get into that in a minute. So, apropos, we're going to be using Hoffman's Dogfight shave soap. Dogfight shave soap, including the aftershave and the EDP. For our witch hazel, we're going to be using CBL's Litzia Cubeba, which is a very lemony type thing. This is not even out on the market yet. Our standard alum. And then, of course, to fit the sky and the blue theme of the Air Force, of course, and the two aircraft, we're going to be using the Sorrentino. This is the glow-in-the-dark Barzini. So I've already got that preloaded. So today is going to be formation flying. What the heck is that? No, I'm not going to be doing this or doing this. No, that's not what I meant. But today's episode is formation flying. What that means is I'm going to shave the left side of my face with the Osprey, and I'm going to shave the right side of my face with the Fatboy. And then tomorrow I'm going to shave with the Fatboy, and then Tuesday I will shave with the Osprey. All set the same way, so everything's equal. So the only things we're worried about is these two things as far as performance. Now, at the end of each day, I'm going to give... there's going to be a winner each day, and we'll tally up the points at the end. Now, in my comprehensive review, I've got a lot more stuff that I'm going to list, and we'll go from there. So what do you say? Let's get shaving. Okay, everybody, here we go. I'm not going to go into too much detail on the Hoffman soap. I've done a pretty comprehensive review of it. I think I did it on the Imaginarium or maybe one of my other shaves. But this was the first entry to the Hoffman soaps. And I believe, I don't know if it was the Luxury Shaving Hobbyist or Deacon, the Deacon Shaves that turned me on to this. I want to say it was the Luxury Shaving Hobbyist, I believe, but I may be wrong. So we'll get this going, and then we'll go ahead and start getting into the razor. As I said, the aggressiveness of this razor, because as I said, I've used it for the last 4 days. The Osprey is a beast, especially on 9. It requires the attention of a straight, to be honest with you. On 7, which I thought would be equal to the 7 on the Fatboy, it was still more aggressive, so that's why I chose 5 on the Osprey and 7, which is what I've always shaved with the Fatboy. Now, the only knock, and I will say this right out of the gate, the only knock that I would give the Osprey is the engraving in the stainless steel for both the Blackland logo and the numbers is very, very light. So you do have to really pay attention where that's at. I think that, Shane, if you're listening, and further iterations of this, maybe anodize the numbers. Because with the Fatboy, they're anodized in black, and you can see them very, very easy, especially when you're old and you can't see. But you'll see this probably tomorrow. I've got a solution for that we'll be doing, and so forth. So, okay, so the first pass of the formation flying will be with the Osprey. It should be said that these scallops are very, very sharp. There is no way, I don't care, my hand is totally wet. You ain't gonna, there's no way this can slip out of your hand. And that's gonna also, on some of the, what I call myths of this razor about being able to adjust it while your hand's wet. It's real easy. You crack it, you turn it, you're done, even when your hand's wet. So, okay, so this is the Osprey on this side of the face with level 5. Now, level 5 does have blade feel, where 1, 2, and 3, I noticed did not have very much blade feel. But this on 5 has just the blade feel that I like. And, you know, those of you who know me know that most of the time I shave with a straight razor. So obviously I like the blade feel. But this has a wonderful, wonderful, and it's so well balanced. You can hold this thing with 3 fingers and just let the weight of the razor do the work. I think, as Shane has mentioned in other videos, there's no such thing as no pressure, but this is all it requires is letting the razor do the work. It really feels just wonderful in the hand, just absolutely wonderful. Okay, so there's the first pass, just absolutely beautiful. Okay, so let's see how the Fatboy does on the other side. The shave angles are about the same because the gap of the razor. This is a much lighter razor, and it's also much shorter, as you saw in the initial photo. I will say that the blade feel is about the same, maybe a little bit less blade feel here, and that's only because the safety bar sticks out a little bit further on this one. And somebody had asked what I felt the aggressiveness was on the 9 of the Osprey, and I would equate it to, like I said, close to a straight, and even my Gillette 15 Aristocrat open comb. That is a beast. On 7 and 8, I would say that it is as aggressive as the Blackland Blackbird TI, but just as efficient. Okay, back to the Osprey. Now, with the profile of the heads, the Osprey is a little bit easier to get underneath the nose, but both are wonderful. Okay, first pass is about equal between the two. Believe it or not, on the little bit less whiskers, just a little bit on the in the chin area on the Fatboy. So if you're keeping score at home, and we're going to go over pricing and everything else on the Osprey, because it is not an inexpensive razor. However, as most of you know with me, I put the value of a razor on what you get out of it. But I can say, after taking it through its flight tests, that I believe that 5 is going to be where I'm staying. I mean, I would say you could use it at higher levels if you've got, 4 or 5 days of beard growth, or if you have a very coarse beard, but that's something that you will have to experiment on your own. But the razor is just beautifully, beautifully, beautifully balanced. Now, later on, when we get to the cleaning portion, I probably will take out the brass insert, but that's why he made that, so you could make the razor lighter. I do believe that if you took the brass insert out, it would probably be about as light as this. But one thing I can say that nods towards the Osprey is, when you have it in your hand, it balances almost immediately. The Fatboy wants to go nose heavy. You have to get almost onto it before it evens out. So it's very nose heavy, so it's not quite as balanced. But it being shorter, you can, kind of negate that. And it should also be noted that while we're doing this comparison, I've been shaving with this Fatboy a long time, and so it feels really comfortable, and I'm trying to negate that so I'm as as objective as possible. But I guess it evens out because I've got all but the saber in Blackland's razor, so I'm very pro Blackland. Okay, now on the across the grain pass, I have to give the nod to the Osprey. So for the first day right now, we're about even. Okay, let's finish up our last pass. But, you know, doing the side-by-side comparison for today's shave, I can say that I would venture to say that the Blackland is about 2 spots more aggressive than the Fatboy. So in other words, if you like the Osprey on 5, like I do, then that would be the 7 on the Fatboy, and then of course, you know, just add 2 to the Fatboy. Now that also depends on the blade. I am a firm believer in the Lab Blue blades. So, all right, let's finish up first on this side with the Fatboy, with the against the grain pass. Normally I save the fool's pass for at the end, but since we're doing halvesies, so to speak, I got to say the additional weight of the Osprey really makes it easy to be intuitive. That's one thing, you know, you have to drive, so to speak, or fly the Fatboy. This one is very, very intuitive on where to grab it for the different pass that you're doing. And, you know, that I attribute to the fact that it's a modern, well-designed, well-engineered razor. Now, this razor is, you know, when the Fatboy came out, I think it was like $6, $7 maybe. Now, that was in the 60s, so, you know, amortized today is probably a $50, $60 razor, where, you know, this is a $350 razor. But this is also solid stainless steel and brass. Now, I will say on the fool's pass, you can feel the blade a little bit more. I will say that. Okay, let's get rinsed off. Pretty close. I mean, really, really close. Definitely a Dolphin baby butt smooth shave. And usually I have issues here and here. It's identical on both sides. If I didn't know better, I would say that I shaved with the same razor, so I know that I matched the gap correctly. So let's see if there's any cleanup needed. None here. Just a little bit, but like I said, I don't think that's the razor's fault, that's mine. But other than that, it's perfect. Okay, let's see what the alum says on the Blackland side, or the Osprey side. A little bit of tingle, but I expect that. Okay, let's see what it does on the, actually a little more on the Fatboy side. So I would say that the Osprey's a little bit smoother. So we'll let that sit for a few minutes. I'm going to clean up both razors, and I'll be back to put on the witch hazel and everything else. So stand by just one second. Okay, everybody, we're back. Boy, we're real close all the way around. So we're using the CBO, let's say, and I'll do that for this one. Probably I won't go into that tomorrow because it's the same stuff I'm using. No face feel on the witch hazel, which I expect, but just a wonderful lemony goodness. And this is just a fantastic, when he comes out with this CBL, let's say a Kubebe, you need to do it. So far we are really, really close overall with the shave between the two razors. But let's see what the alcohol splash does. Trying to spread it as evenly as possible. A little bit more sting on the Fatboy side. Virtually none on the Blackland side. So for our talc today, we're going to be using, and for the next 3 days, Yardley Gold. And it should be noted that the Yardley Gold really complements the Hoffman's Dogfight. And I guess this is a good time to mention as far as cleaning. The one thing I will say, well, I'll tell you what, we'll finish up with the EDP, and then we'll get into some final thoughts. Okay, let's get into the results. A couple of things, like I said, a couple of the knocks for the Fatboy is that it is a twist to open, so you got to make sure you really tighten that down. But through the shave, that loosens up a little bit, and sometimes that will move around a little bit, and that'll also cause a little bit of cavitation in the blade, because when you loosen this up, it also opens up the blade. That's the only knock. Other than that, a little bit of alum and aftershave sting, but other than that, just a smooth razor. Now, as far as the Blackland, anybody who has concerns that this thing's going to gum up, if you look down in here, you can see almost all the way through the razor. The water flow through with these scallops is amazing, and they're sharp enough to where there's no way, I don't care how soapy or how wet your hand is, you're not going to let it slip. So that is the only knock. This thing seats in just perfectly, and when it's solid, it's solid. There's no adjustment that's going to move around. So what I also love about this is when it's set on 5, it's set on 5, and you can adjust that as well. The blade gap is wonderful. The razor feels like just one piece, even though it's a 3-piece razor. I think over time that brass is going to patina real well, but it's easy to take out and you can polish it. It does come with the cool stand, but that has nothing to do with the shave. The only knock, like I said, the only knock with this is I think that you feel, like I said, it's very intuitive, and the razor just balances almost immediately in your hand. And to me, the balance point is about right there, and it's just perfect. I mean, it really, really is. Like I said, the only knock is, and it's real hard to see the numbers, so you really have to pay attention to where you're tightening and loosening up. And like I said, all you do is you loosen the head, because the adjustment's in the head unit rather than throughout the whole razor. So there's a lot less mechanical parts working, and it's just fantastic. So what does that mean? Well, for today's shave and the formation flying, and you can see the size difference. I mean, it's quite a bit bigger, which I like, because instead of having to do a three-handed or 3-fingered shave, or 4 including your thumb, I can actually put all 4 fingers on it, which gives it a little bit more stability. They're real close as far as the first day, but I've got to, old versus new, I got to give the formation flying day to the Blackland Osprey. I really, really do. It's this, I think, and I was saying later on after this, I think I'm going to do a Blackland shootout, because this razor, and everybody who knows me knows that I think that this razor is about the best handheld style razor, not including straights, that's ever been made. However, that being said, after shaving with this thing for about a week, that's going to be a tough fight. So we'll do a Blackland shootout down the day. So Anyways, guys, that's it for our shave today of day one dogfight between the Gillette Fatboy and the Blackland Osprey. And today goes to the Osprey for sure, which I didn't think was going to happen because this razor means so much to me on an emotional level, but so does this because I spent the final part of my career flying around in the Osprey. So that's it for the first day of foundation flying, or formation flying, I should say. Tomorrow, we're going to shave with this completely, give our results, and then, of course, Tuesday, and then we'll give the final results as to which one is the goat of the den. So that's it. I'm Barber Dave. This has been Barber Dave Shaves and Such, and I hope everybody has a blessed Sunday, and please post things in the comments. Thanks. Take care.